It's time for another episode of Tucson Means Business, featuring Tucson's top entrepreneurs and leaders in the business world. And now your host, Mark Bishop.
And welcome everybody to another Tucson Means Business, proudly sponsored by the 49ers Golf and Country Club on Tanque Verde Road, the hidden jewel of the desert here in Tucson, Arizona. Wherever you may be hearing this particular message, if you're coming to Tucson, look up the club. Things are tough at the moment, like everywhere, but open for golf, big time, and still you can go to the restaurant as well. Just all of the restrictions do apply, masks and so on, and distancing, okay? Otherwise, not a problem. So, Jamie Anderson is my guest. He's the CEO of the Golden Years Project. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you.
I have you on the show because of the wonderful work you're doing for others, Jamie, with the Golden Years Project. You were born, actually, into an extremely poor family of six back in Norwich, Connecticut, and you were the baby, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I was just a little tyke in Norwich, Connecticut, and I don't have much memory of that era of my life because I was too young. But
well, you ended up getting raised in Pasadena in Houston, Texas. And this is from, 6 years old until you were 14?
Yeah.
And then your parents divorced when you were 8, and you returned to Massachusetts with your mom and your other siblings because she had custody of you. And you wanted to be closer, to your mother in her golden years, as do a lot of, boys and girls out there, whether they're 18, 16, or 32. What can you recall about those times, Jamie?
Well, the going back to the poverty end of things. Just you remember they used to have these paper food stamp dollars,
mm-hmm.
and we were so poor that in order to get a little gas money, my mom would send us kids into the store and buy like little penny candies and get the change back so she could put $3, $4, $5 of gas in and get wherever it was we needed to go, to the store or to the doctor, to whatever we needed to do.
Well, there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing now, which we're going to get into soon. But it's interesting with people's backgrounds or their upbringings, how sometimes it can set the road for future life. Let's firstly, though, talk about your military life, please, if you would.
Well, I joined the military when I was 17. Actually, I dropped out of high school and went into the military at 17 in my junior year. And thank God that the military, the National Guard had a program that you could further your education, once you were in,
mm-hmm.
but once you were government property.
Yeah.
And
good thing, really,
Yeah, the military was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. It taught me that the world did not revolve around me,
mm-hmm.
and the discipline. It showed me that I could do things I had no idea that I was capable of doing, and that was so beneficial because once I got out of the military, my whole line of thinking was different. It's like if I wanted something, if I wanted to accomplish something, I knew that there was nothing stopping me from doing it. All I had to do was do it.
So the military taught you that, and a lot of other stuff as well. 3 years active duty, 5 years inactive for a total of 8 years. And you had an honorable discharge. The occupational specialty was what they call a 39E. Now, that's Special Electronics Devices Repairman. Did you know anything about that world before you went in?
No, I selected that because I scored pretty high on my ASVAB test, which is the entrance exam.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in communications. It was top secret. And I wanted to choose a career that I thought there was going to be a lot of work in the civilian world when I got out. I was wrong.
Well, what did you glean from the military experience?
Well, Well, we worked on the Patriot missile wiring harnesses. We did everything from pop-up targets, and if it was electronic or we did the night vision equipment. So basically, my job was to go behind enemy lines, pick up equipment that needed repair, bring it back to our little workroom depots and warehouse type things, really tents, and get them repaired and then bring them back out to the field where the soldiers needed them.
So you got a bit of a nickname, right? What did your friends used to call you?
Oh, yeah, my friends, they're something else. They used to call me MacGyver because they told me I could take a piece of bubble gum and a paper clip and make a bomb out of it. They're just teasing me. Yeah.
Well, you went into life insurance after the military. Big difference. Why?
Well, I lived in San Antonio at this particular time, and I was looking for a new career. Actually, I didn't even know what I was applying for. There was just this little ad in the paper that said, I work hard and I get paid well. If that sounds like you, call me. And I said, okay, well, it sounds like me.
Let's do it.
So I called him, and so I called the guy, and his name was Gerald Brown. He turned out to be a very good influence in my life, and him and his family. He had there was Brown's Agency, and was the name of his agency, but we were exclusive writers for American Income Life Insurance Company out of Waco, Texas.
So you never know. You never know in life what road's going to lead you down next for what reason, right?
No, you don't.
Well, 9 years in the insurance company. You learned administration, marketing, accounting, advertising, all of those disciplines. I mean, did you enjoy those times?
I did. I loved the freedom of being self-employed, and I hated my actual job. I don't know if that makes any sense, because the selling part of it, I hated that. But every Friday I saw my paycheck and was like, oh, well, maybe I'll stick around for another week. And then 9 years later.
Everybody hates sales, my friend. And yet the funny thing is the world stops dead if there isn't one. That's no correct. Sales, no action, no nothing, ships leaving ports, stock in shelves, God knows what. There is nothing. So sales are important, but, for a lot, it's not a chosen career. It's a hard career to do,
Yeah, I actually, that ended up being another tremendous experience in my life, because it's weird how the Lord walks you down paths, and it's like you're having this experience, or my military experience that gave me some discipline, and then I ended up in the insurance business that gave me these different
disciplines, that we talked about before, all your management stuff that you needed for what you're doing now in helping thousands of others. But your mom wanted to relocate now, right, during this particular period?
Yeah, she wanted me. She wanted to live near me, and she was still living up in Massachusetts at the time, and I told her that I loved her, but I probably wasn't coming back there except during the summertime. It's not an area I like to be in the winter. Mm-hmm. And, 6-month long winters. I don't mind a week for vacation or something, but I'm just a Southern boy at heart. Yeah. And so I told her if she ever moved south, wherever she wanted to go, I would live with her.
Funny about that.
Or live near her.
So many people from around America want to be over here, don't they, in Arizona? God knows what, because the weather, as they get older. But a lot of people got it all wrong. They just think we're just brown. They don't see the beauty or don't understand the beauty of desert. We still have trees and God knows what. But, mate, I couldn't live in that black snow, black ice roads and, snow all the time either. Now, you did start a new thing. When you relocated, she wanted to relocate back to Arizona. You started Janderson Capital Leasing, right? This was your own baby, which was a commercial equipment. Tell us about that.
Well, prior to my mother returning to Arizona, I was working as for a broker doing commercial equipment leasing, where I would reach out to commercial equipment vendors, people that sold, bulldozers and tractor trailers and things like that. And as companies needed to purchase more equipment, then they would send us applications, and we would basically do the credit behind it and get the deals funded.
Right.
And
So it was a commercial equipment leasing brokerage type thing, right?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Well, you did very well, and you built that up until 2008, right? Here's another good Lord hurdle he puts in front of everybody. The economy, boom, then everything goes down. This would have been an enormous testing time for you.
Yeah, that was, especially because I knew about the business disciplines that we spoke about before, and business was smooth. And then when that economy crisis came in, I didn't really understand the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand why business was falling. And I started to understand why, because, the diesel fuel went up to $5 a gallon, and my customers were mostly tractor trailer owner operators, and
right.
And, maybe companies that had 10 or 15 rigs. But that was a very trying time. I ended up losing my house in a foreclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 2 houses. I downsized. We had a house and then another little townhouse here in Tucson, and I thought I downsized enough. And just when I downsized, the economy got even worse.
Well, you fought your way through that crisis, but the stress involved, I think, during those years caused you, to look at making a career change. And of all things, you entered into the affordable housing property management industry, ended up staying there for 10 years, right?
I did. That's what I've been doing right up until
now, right?
Until the Golden Years Project.
Well, This is where, folks, it leads to affordable housing for seniors. Now, I don't know if you read the magazines lately, newspapers, stay up to date, whatever, but you're going to share some stats with us anyway. I'd like you to do that, Jamie. But the Golden Years Project is what you're all about. It's a marvelous project. That's why I wanted to interview you. I think it's terrific what you're doing for people. But I tell you what, it's scary because, baby boomers, time moves on, and you know what? What's going to happen now when the floodgates open?
Well, that's the question. That's the $64,000 question.
It's interesting. It's interesting how you were led to this current project, don't you think?
I think so. There was actually a moment that came when it just kind of hit me, kind of slapped me in the face and said, "Wow, Jamie, everything that you went through in life prepared you for this specific task, this moment." And I'll never forget that.
And how did it come about? I'd like you to tell the story. I know you were in attendance at a, National Church Residence's national conference, for the management staff of the industry you were in. And this was back in 2018 for Phoenix listeners and so on in Arizona back in October. And you first learned of an up-and-coming and unavoidable housing crisis. So what happened? How did it hit you? How did you get this message that you needed to do something?
Well, that was actually very interesting. It was almost kind of like something you'd see in a movie where our vice president Mark Ricketts, or maybe President Mark Ricketts, was speaking, and the room, just like all the hair on my body stood up, and the room started to, in the entertainment world, fade to black, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of felt like I was alone in the room, and I had this overwhelming emotional sensation of just saying, "Jamie, and as I was looking up, it was like, "Jamie, you got to do something." And I said, "Okay, what?" I don't know where to go, where to start.
Yeah. What do you want me to do? And this is the Lord speaking to you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Millions of older adults would be at high risk of becoming homeless, and are indeed at a high risk of becoming homeless in the United States of America. So this moved you to do something. You witnessed, many different struggles and challenges that the senior population has had on a daily basis, I'm talking about overall health, mobility issues. And you knew, from what I've read, that, this would be a major catastrophe, a hindrance on the quality of their life, and a shortening, in fact, of their life expectancy. Then it hit you as the guest speaker and the room silenced and so on, and you thought, all right, I've been given something to do. I don't know where to start, what to do, how to do it, God knows what, but he knows.
He always knows.
He knows. So you started, once you settled down and, you came down to earth, you started the Golden Years Project. And the Golden Years Project, folks, was founded 3 months later from this experience on January the 16th, 2019. And here we are today. Now, we hear a lot about the silver tsunami. What is the silver tsunami, Jamie?
Well, the silver tsunami is it's basically a major or massive wave of older adults that are retiring that is set to double our population from 45, our senior population, from 45 to 90 million people over the next 5 years.
Oh, 5 years only?
Yes.
My word.
So, our senior services infrastructure is not capable of handling this type of influx.
Mm-hmm.
So it's affecting affordable housing. It's affecting home health. It's just affecting all of the senior services across the board,
mm-hmm.
but mostly in affordable housing. That's where it all starts. Because if you have a place that you can live, you can always get the other services eventually. But when if you're 62 years old and you end up homeless because you're on a waiting list, a 5-year wait list to gain entrance into a community, affordable housing senior community, then your life expectancy just drops to about a year, maybe a year and a half if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're talking about seniors that's never been homeless before. And a chronically homeless male, so someone that's chronically homeless and a male, their average life expectancy is to age 50. So take someone who's 65 or 70 and they're trying to get into an affordable housing situation, but they're on a 5-year wait list or a 3-year wait list.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have that kind of time.
All right.
They don't have that kind of time.
And they deteriorate badly quickly too.
Yes, and so if they end up homeless, then that they've pretty much had to give up everything they've owned, and they probably are living in their car. Actually, there's a lot of people living in their car. There's a home health company that we were working with, and the public relations person told me that they were seeing clients when they get out of the hospital. They were meeting them in Walmart parking lots just to change their wound dressings and from their surgeries and things like that because they didn't have homes.
When I hear this sort of stuff, I just think how despicable it's been. Not this current president, the one before him and the one before him and the one before him. I don't care. Nonpartisan, how they could let the greatest country in the world, supposedly, get to this level. It's unbelievable. And the thousands of vets, too, I bet, among that lot that fought for this country and other things. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the solution because we're talking with Jamie Anderson. He's the president and CEO of the Golden Years Project. And you're hearing it here on Tucson Business RadioX with Mark Bishop. And we're proudly sponsored by the 49ers Golf and Country Club, who do a lot for their community as well. And in fact, I'd like you to listen to this message, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Tucson Means Business on Tucson Business Radio X right here, coming out of the Stewart Title Building on Broadway. And, of course, we're proudly sponsored by the 49ers Golf and Country Club, a wonderful course and wonderful club here in Tucson. I have the Director of Memberships and Tournaments, Casey Polivchak. Casey, tournaments are a big thing for a golf club.
Absolutely. We are a semi-private club, which means we have membership available, but we also are open to the public. With being open to the public, we welcome nonprofit tournaments, fundraisers. We specialize in groups from 4 to 144.
See, this is an important thing, isn't it, in the community? Companies would love to do something for their staff, something that's different, but they don't want the course to be too hard, and they want it to be friendly. They want the service to be right, and the atmosphere to make it a really fun day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
And that's what you strive to do, isn't it? It's part of your whole job, really.
I think that's what we specialize in is the... How am I going to say this? The tournament that's not looking at spending too much money because they're in it to make money for their charity.
Right.
So we offer really good facilities, a great golf course. But I'm going to be honest, it's not the best golf course in Tucson. It's not the nicest facilities, but everything is good out there, and your guests are going to have a good experience because of the value that they're getting for the cost of the tournament.
There you go. That's an important factor. It's all very well, wanting to have a great day out for everybody, but if it breaks the bank, then it defeats the whole purpose.
Absolutely.
And if you're trying to raise funds, which is an integral part, because Tucson seems to be a wonderful place for raising funds, there's so many people who support so many wonderful causes.
Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of, great causes out there. And, people they kind of come to a fork in the road. You got school sponsorships that, booster clubs. There's so many fundraising possibilities out there that we really have specialized in golf tournaments for people and helping them maximize the amount of money they can make. Mm-hmm. I've put together a brochure to help people that have never run a golf tournament that will kind of take them from step one until the day of the event.
That's very, very good. If people from somewhere now, maybe they're moving into Tucson with a new business, new company, whatever, how can they get hold of you directly?
They can call me directly at 520-749-4925. Extension's 212, but we recommend you go to the website. It's a great way to get information about the club on not only golf tournaments but membership. That website is 49ercc.com, FORTYNINERCC.com.
There you go. Casey Bolifchak. He's the Director of Memberships and Tournaments. He's the fellow to speak to. Now back to the show. So I'm talking with Jamie Anderson, who is the President and CEO of the Golden Years Project. Lovely project. And it's going to be up on the site. You're going to be able to read about it, see a photo of Jamie, have phone numbers, contacts. Perhaps you've got parents, perhaps you've got somebody, perhaps you know somebody you want to help, a neighbor, something like that. Maybe you can help. It's more important. What is the solution? What role will the Golden Years Project play, Jamie?
Well, when you have this many people coming into this sector all at once, there's two things. One, we need more affordable housing units, which we cannot build fast enough. And secondly, we need to provide some financial interim relief or interim financial relief so that, people that are on these waiting lists, if they become high risk, which means they're starting to get, eviction letters, foreclosure notices, then they can apply for our program and we can get them approved and send them a monthly stipend until they come up on the wait list.
Okay.
Which they'll have to renew that every year. The program will work just like the Section 8 program, with the same criteria.
So is the GYP's program intended to be national or just local?
Well, it is intended to be national. We have to roll it out a little smaller in a smaller community first, like say Tucson, because that will allow us to identify and repair any kinks in the clockwork, should we say?
Mm-hmm.
And once we get everything streamlined, then the process is still the same. We'll just be able to take applications nationally. It's meant to be a completely virtual organization, so that anybody can apply through the website and start receiving help.
Yeah. Now that brings up a question to me, though, right? We're talking about seniors here, mate. I mean, a lot of them think the internet and computers and all that created by the devil. I mean, no, seriously, it's for them, it's scary stuff. And furthermore, they don't know what to do. How do they get on if it's just a virtual scenario? How are you going to handle that?
Well, so we are partnering with affordable housing communities and different community partnerships that will be able to act as a service coordinator. And if they need assistance, either their kid can help them fill it out. I mean, they'll be able to do it from their phone,
okay,
or a laptop. Their kids or brothers or somebody can assist them, where they'll be able to,
maybe their grandchildren,
or their grandchild, but they can also. So most people will find out about the Golden Years Project if they go get on a waiting list at XYZ property and they talk to them about us. If they need assistance right away, then there'll be a service coordinator that they can turn to that will help them be able to do that.
I know, you have this incredible experience and you really believed that the Lord spoke to you, and that's how it started, the GYP. But what was your motivation to start this organization? Because, it's not easy, my friend. There are so many not-for-profits all vying for a piece of the pie and support and help out there. I mean, I think there's 3,500 in Tucson alone. Never mind a Phoenix. The cause is amazing. The cause is good. But you must have known what you'd be up against. I mean, what are you, a 501c?
Yes.
Okay. Whom do you... I mean, you've just started rolling it out now with the program to the public and so on. Have you had good sponsors to start with?
Oh, so no, we haven't rolled out the stipend program yet. We're trying to get that part funded.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we need to raise $155 million.
Is that all?
That's all.
I'll write your check. Come on down. My friend. I tell you what, you need somebody to... You know what? I was listening to an interview the other day, and America's 5 top billionaires have profited so much through this COVID-19. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I'm not saying that they haven't worked hard. The corporations have provided jobs, this, whatever. The fact of the matter is they've made so much extra money, it's ridiculous. Let's say that the extra money that they've made, right, is more than, say, 60% of the average workforce of America.
Wow.
Now, don't you think that'd be good if a bit of that just got 10% off the top or 5% off the top from each of them for the right causes? And yet there are terrific causes that a lot of them are involved with, that they do support and do. But here, what's going to be your toughest battle? What have advisors told you? What have people, without being negative, what do you think are going to be the hardest challenges? Mate, you need enormous money. And there are so many millions of Americans who potentially are going to be, suitable for this program.
I think that, first of all, I know that when this is God's plan, this is God's mission, it's not mine. He just tapped me on the shoulder to lead it. And who knows, he may just want me to start it. And eventually, once we get a larger board, we're still building out some additional board members.
Mm-hmm.
But one day, years from now, this organization will exist and I won't be here. I kind of got off on a tangent. Forgot what you asked me.
Well, you're just going to need support. You're going to need the right people to step in early and a few breaks. And as you say, you're just the steering the wheel, so to speak. God has given you the course. So I'm pretty sure you're not going to be left out in the cold. Let's put it that way. All right.
No, absolutely not. We have a plan. I mean, the Lord has shown me visions of how this organization was going to be funded. And he didn't show me in detail, but it starts with every community. This crisis, even though it's a national crisis, it only becomes a national crisis because it's a local community crisis everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he's shown me that working with community partners such as credit unions and energy companies, like utility companies,
mm-hmm.
and we're reaching out to all of them.
You've got to get it known too. You've got to get it known. And I'm glad that I could have helped a little bit with this, and I'd be there for you. But of course, you do realize that radio and television stations, both in the two cities, both in Phoenix and in Tucson, by law have to give you X amount of time that that you can ask for to help promote this cause.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they do their license, my friend. So
see, another Jesus appointment right there.
Well, they're all battling, but they've got to do X amount of public service announcements, and the right ones do the right thing. There's no harm in asking, and you can get a crack at that, and that goes for print and everything else. So I'm the first to do something with you, and I volunteered because I believe in your cause, and mine's a podcast. It has a global reach. I get letters from around the world. It's quite amazing, actually. It's only based on being online, so it's quite weird. But anyway, where are you right now with rolling out GYP's program to the public? What stage are you at?
We are at the stage where we need some additional funding to get the electronic, the digital integration with the website and the actual the program with the guidelines. If their adjusted gross income is X amount of dollars and they qualify for this amount, we need to get that part ironed out and make sure that we're not there's nothing discriminatory in there. Get all the legal kinks worked out to make sure that
mm-hmm.
that we're treating everybody fairly and
all of your ducks in a row, right?
Well, yeah.
Your I's dotted and the good old T's crossed. You need some support from very good people in the community in their legal aspects and in the media aspects to donate their time and services to you. That's what you need. And I'll help you a little more with that. Now, the general public, how can people get involved? How can they help now, do you think? And I know your site's not up for them to donate, but what else can they do? Well,
right now, the only thing that they can do is go to goldenyearsproject.org and go to the donate page, and a recurring monthly donation of $10 to $15 a month is ideal. It's small amounts like that over large amounts of numbers does miracles, and it doesn't hurt us. Doesn't hurt anybody else, but it helps so many others.
So there'll be members, there'll be foundation members and early members, and you'll be keeping them up to date, no doubt, with a newsletter of sorts, that type of thing.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so the current URL then is goldenyearsproject.org, right?
Yes.
www.goldenyearsproject, all one word, .org. And that's where listeners you can go to and read more and study and so on. How much does your company need to raise, do you think?
Well, we need to raise $155 million to secure our first 3 years with the program, and which is about $10 million the first year, $44 million the second year, and $110 million by the third year. And what that does is it allows us to help around 1,000. The goal is to help around 1,000 people with a monthly stipend during the first year. Mm-hmm. And then once all the kinks are worked out, and as we roll out to the on a national level, then we can add. We hit our marks, mm-hmm. then we can help 5,000 people across the country, and then in our second year, so we'll be up to about 6,250 people, and then when we roll go into our third year, we'll be able to add another 5,000.
Wow.
Now, of course, those are projections. We don't know what the Lord's going to do. The Lord bless us with $1 billion, and we'll be able to help a lot more people.
It sounds like an astronomical amount of money for so few. And yet we talked about the numbers in 5 years alone. The maturing Americans who could be in trouble that fit this particular project, the Golden Years Project. And we're only talking 6,000 there. So it just goes to give you an idea. But what I want to know is this. What's the percentage of corporate overhead and staffing versus the funding going to the cause? Because this is a pet hate of mine, I got to tell you. And I don't think you and what you're trying to do are the sort of people that are going to fit, the bad boys. But there are a few of them out there. Because people get fed up with giving and working hard and for all the right reasons to the wrong people.
Well, yeah, who wants to, if you're giving your money because the Lord puts it in your heart to help out a cause, and then you find out it's just paying somebody's salary, and very little of it's going to help the person in need, then it's very disappointing. So in our case, our first year is set at, or at least the projections and the budget we have set forth is 85% to the cause and 15% overhead. The second year, however, and this is pretty amazing, even though we double our staffing in our second year because we're going to need more people to process these applications, these additional 5,000 people coming in, and as we grow, contractors, et cetera, that excuse me, that our actual percentage will drop down to about 10% on the second year of, it's easy math. Why? And it's just because we're helping more people. So there's, we're bringing in more money. So
sure.
there's more money going out to the people that need it. And we already, we're only going to have to add, double our staffing, which isn't very much.
Well, you should be able to get a lot of volunteers too, but how are you keeping the overhead percentages so low?
Well, we're not buying office buildings in every state or renting them
okay, so no bricks and mortar. This was the whole virtual idea, is it?
That's correct. And that's why we're able to keep it so low.
How has COVID-19, what effect has it had on the organization? What sort of challenges?
Well, it's affecting me personally. It's slowing me down. But mainly...
you don't have COVID-19, do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? I didn't realize that. I thought you were down with asthma.
Well, when I have acute asthma, and whenever you have any kind of respiratory, even a sinus infection or whatnot,
yeah, tell me.
Then any post-nasal drip that goes down into your lungs or whatever, then it creates asthma attacks. And the doctor said it was.
Yeah. I can relate to it. I have a touch of COPD. I had a test yesterday. It's my third COVID-19 test, and came back negative, which is great. But, I'm very wary because of that reason. I used to be a smoker, but I quit 30 years ago. But a change of weather in southern Arizona knocks a few people around. I've spoken to a few friends that go down the same way. Bad sinuses like I do, and the change of shrubs and certain times of the year really knocks you around. You do have to be super careful. But I'm sorry about that for you, Jamie. I didn't realize it was the 19th. How long now have you been infected?
Well, when it started, it was on December the 12th. I started with a little runny nose, and I was up in Boston visiting my family. So I thought that it was just a change of weather. Colder, drier air. I mean, the air's dry here, but colder, drier air, and that's what it seemed like for the majority of the time. And then when I got back, then it started. I started getting short of breath, and the other symptoms, the fevers and the chills, and
everything else.
And whatnot. And so
that's about 14 days now. Roughly.
Yeah.
Roughly 14, 15. Okay. So what's the next step? What do you do next?
Well, I just keep going to bed and keep waking up until it's gone. So I think I'm about maybe 2 or 3 more days before I'll be out of I'm out of the woods now. I've got my taste and smell back, and
good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, mate, being as smarty as I am, only the good die young anyway, so you don't have any problems. No, Jamie, all jokes aside, seriously, you've got a big project to do, man. You ain't going anywhere.
I know.
You got to get yourself together here. Get well, get fit. Come on, you've got a big job here. So, how would you like our listeners to connect with you?
The best way is to go to the website, goldenyearsproject.org, and there's a contact us form that is monitored daily, and someone will get back to you within 24 hours. And one of the things, and you had asked me, is how can other people get involved? On our other side, because we mentioned that we're going to build more affordable housing units. So that means we have a development side of our organization.
Mm-hmm.
And, so anybody that wants to jump on board with us and help us to develop properties, we're willing to talk to them. So anybody that wants to invest in any investments, real estate investments, joint ventures, if you have land that's not doing anything, that's in a decent area, where when I say decent area, I mean there's a hospital within 5 miles, a grocery store within a mile or two. These are the things that HUD likes to see when they're providing financing to you.
Right.
So where they're building these senior facilities, they want to make sure that there's medical services and things that are around.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go through my files here as well with some people I've interviewed over the last year might fit the bill. Big developers, real estate, and successful people. They might want to be involved with this to help you. But otherwise, it's going to be up on the site on Tucson Business RadioX permanently. I'll send you the link. By all means, get it out there into social media and email it out to people. People like to hear what's going on, what the latest is. Keep them involved. Keep them top of mind. And I know you're sick, but just, 21's coming up, and it's going to be better for everybody, my friend. So, listen, it's been wonderful, mate. I wish you all the luck in the world, and more than luck. I mean, Godspeed with this one. Jamie Anderson is the president and CEO. The Golden Years Project is what it's called. You're going to hear a lot more about it. I mean, well, but just before we go, what were those numbers again? 5 years from now, how many seniors do you think in America, or it's showing projected, are going to be or could be in trouble?
Oh, that could be in trouble is approximately 12.672 million. That's the amount of people that could be at high risk.
I just feel so sad about that. I mean, they built this country,
If we have some time, I'd like to give you some statistics. So out of these 90 million seniors, 64% are only going to have Social Security to live on. And that average income is going to be about $1,294 per month. As you know, you can't live anywhere for that much. And so the good news, though, is that out of those 64%, which is 57.6 million, 78% of those people will already own their own homes or have planned their retirements in such a way that they will be able to continue to afford making, their mortgage payments, et cetera. They may have planned a little bit better than the others, but that still leaves almost 12.7 million people across our country in jeopardy.
Well, now you know why, folks. The goldenyearsproject.org. Now you know why. The goldenyearsproject.org. Headed by Jamie Anderson. He's based in Phoenix, but there's a link down here with Tucson. And Jamie, it's been lovely speaking with you. We'll follow up on this down the track a little, and I'll do anything I can to help you. Just let me know, okay?
Well, thank you so much, Mark.
Take care, and God bless, mate.
God bless you.